Hello guys, welcome to part 3 of my continuing Let's Play of Princess Evangile. We just got to our brand new school. It's an all-girls dormitory. We are the lone guy. So, this is going to be an interesting school year, I can imagine. And I am asleep, apparently. Messiah-kun, Okonogi Messiah-kun. It's time to wake up. Have you made your preparations? I hope he still isn't sleeping. Messiah-kun, I'm coming in. Oh, I just knew it. Messiah-kun, please wake up. It's time to go. Oh. It's a nun. I fell on top of my shoulder and woke up with a start. Late on your first day? I can't approve of that. I forgot it was a Christian school, so I guess it makes sense. There might be some kind of religious figures. Sister Mishima. Standing in front of me was the dorm mother who was helping me get adjusted. Sister Mishima. Oh, sorry, I didn't get to sleep until around dawn. I see, it was right to check in on you. You didn't even respond when I tried to wake you up for breakfast. I looked at my clock. I had set the alarm for 6:30, but it was now almost 8. Whoa, that's bad. I was supposed to be out the door by now. Forgive me for saying this, but you joined the school as a representative of young men, Messiah-kun. Yeah, see, we're starting to do the integration as like a trial period. If it goes well, then more men will be allowed to join this all-girls school. The reason they're doing this is because the school is facing some financial hardships, and they're going to have to open their doors to more participants if they want to keep afloat. If you make a poor first impression, it'll be harder for you to integrate yourself faster. Or hurting yourself later. Her words were harsh, but her eyes were kind. The sister's right. I have to do the best I can for the rest of the year. You're right. I'm very sorry. Not at all. Well, if you hurry, you can still make it. Shall I walk you to the gym? No, I should be fine. I studied the map before. I see. Take care, then. As the sister left, I hurried to wash my face and brush my teeth. I really wish I could have had breakfast, though. I had been forbidden to leave this room until today, when I would be formally introduced to the school. In the meantime, the staff brought me food. The dorm meals were delicious. Nothing else. That alone made me glad to be here at Vincennes. The room was luxurious, too. The building itself was new, and the furniture was all very well made. It's upgraded from my old apartment in every conceivable way. I left the bathroom after washing up. I took off my pajamas and put my arms through the sleeves of my uniform. Naturally, the school had no male uniform, so I wore the uniform of my old school. I'd given my key to the guardian so they could fetch me what I needed. Apparently, the goons hadn't messed with things very much there. Wow, I'm seriously gonna be late. I opened the door just as a student was coming out of the room next to mine. Ah! Her eyes opened wide in shock. She then let out a scream and ran off. She didn't have to scream. She made me feel like a criminal. I had been stuck in my room all this time, so I wasn't sure if the people around me knew about me being here or not. I was looking as though they hadn't. I wish someone had told them at least. I can see this will be an uphill battle. A single boy had arrived at a traditional girls' academy. It seemed like this was an even greater culture shock than I had expected. Eek, he's following me. No, I'm not. Please, I'm kind of in a hurry. In a hurry to commit a crime? No, I'm just running late. I was running down the path towards the school building when I saw a group of girls just ahead. The student who had fled from me was speaking to them desperately. They turned quickly to face me. Even from this distance, I could tell they were hostile. I slowed my pace and gave them an awkward smile. I wasn't sure how effective the smile was going to be, of course. Eek! Nope, definitely not effective. All but 2 of them ran away. One of them was Rise-san. The other was someone I had naturally never seen before. Good morning. Salutations. She was staring at me. The girl was as beautiful as Rise, but there was a certain coldness about her beauty. Rise-sama, are you acquainted with this person? Yes. Who is he? You know how I've been out scouting for someone, don't you, Ritsuko? You really did find someone then? Yes, and he's a man of the finest character. Oh, you're making me blush. I decided to say something to reduce the tension, but that just made it worse. I was under the impression that the board of directors was deadlocked. Mother, the headmistress, closed discussions on the admittance of boys. true, but I volunteered to be mission ambassador, and part of my authority as mission ambassador means that any man I found would be admitted unconditionally. I was under the impression that your term as mission ambassador had expired. Well, you have to look at it generously, but the rule was by the end of the 3rd term. No, I received the chairwoman's permission to continue. There should be no issue. Yeah, she's obviously, like, very, like, not wanting to keep explaining herself on this. Will he be introduced at the entrance ceremony? Yes, it appears so. Then I will hear the official explanation at that time. You just heard the explanation. She's so dense. She turned left and quickly without a word to me. As she disappeared, Rise-san left out a sigh of relief. For pity's sake, Ritsuko's such a stickler for rules. Yeah, I got that impression. Her name is Ritsuko? Yes, she's an intermediary? No, she's in her 1st year and final course. Her name is Kita Mikado Ritsuko. Final course. I had heard rumors about Vincennes, but I knew nothing about how it worked. I wanted to ask, but I didn't have time to spare. Giggle. What is this? Forgive me. She's of bad hair. I've never seen such a thing before. How do you not... Look at her hair. There's no way she would not have bed hair of some sort. You don't just wake up looking gorgeous every day. Yeah, I slept in a little. Are you certain you'll make it on time? Wasn't my grandmother hoping to speak with you before the ceremony begins? Oh, right, I'll go on ahead. See you later. Yes, good luck. Is the grandmother going to be, like, hot to you? That would probably be normal, I guess. As I left the path, there were more students around. I quickly became the center of attention. The reaction was largely shock, with thorny suspicion mixed in. Spurred on by awkwardness, I dashed towards the school grounds as fast as I could. Aww. She's kind of cute. You know, an older person way. You are Okanogi Masaya-kun. Oh yes, I'm sorry, I'm late. So this is Rise-san's grandmother. She had such an air of elegance about her, it was easy to see the relation. No, not at all. It really was silly of me to ask. You are the only man of the entire Vincennes campus, after all. I should introduce myself. I am Rusanen, the chairwoman of Vincennes board. It seems you have been great help to my granddaughter. Oh, not at all. She's the one who helped me. Well, Rise informed me that you saved her from ruffians. Ruffians? Oh, that was just... Really? First she's sneaking out of school, now she's assaulting gang members? It's very unladylike of her. She told me she had said something she just couldn't stand, so she hid him. Masaya-kun, did you ask what it was that she just couldn't stand? No, I was thinking of how glad it was he didn't do anything to her. If Rise won't say it, then I won't say it either. I heard that you saved her from ruffians once before as well, but those people were actually school security, weren't they? But you didn't know that at the time, did you? Well, no. You appeared to be quite pure of heart. In the Sermon on the Mount, it said that such people will see God. Were those words from the Bible or something? I wasn't familiar with it. Could I ask you about what you said before? Am I really the only man here? Yes. Amazing. The rumors I'd heard about an all-girls paradise were true. And here I was, the sole man among them. What's going to happen? I was halfway between excited and nervous. There may be some inconveniences along the way, but I hope you'll bear with them. I'm so sorry. No, I understand. Then we shall proceed. The chairwoman turned towards the gymnasium. The opening ceremony is about to begin. Would you mind waiting in the green room for now? Of course. Am I going to get cool backgrounds to go with it? That'd be really sweet. I will begin by introducing you, and then you may introduce yourself. Understood. Any questions? No, none in particular. The chairwoman gave a small nod. I headed for the gym as requested. By the way, how much have you heard, Messiah, about what's going to happen in your own role in it? Actually, I haven't heard much at all. I had to admit, it was pretty lax of me. I know that in a year there will be a vote to decide if the school will go co-ed or if it will stay as a girls' school. I see. It seemed to disappoint her somehow. Perhaps it was hard for her to say it? What? That's right, my granddaughter told me something about you losing a winning lottery ticket. Ah. But I am sorry, 100 million yen is a bit too much for me to provide. Oh, no, not at all. Rise keeps acting like it's her fault or something, but she didn't really do anything wrong. So really, don't worry about it and tell Rise not to worry about it either. It hardly makes up for it, but I will do everything I can to make your life comfortable. Yes, thank you very much. I could hear a voice from the green room. The opening ceremony went on in a typical fashion until my introduction came up. Now it happens that there is something I must announce to you all. As some of you are already aware, beginning this April, a special transfer student will be joining Vincennes. The special transfer student is a boy. Throughout the ceremony, the student body had been politely silent, but now it was alive with whispers. The chairwoman waited for the whispers to die down before speaking again. There has been a matter of some debate for several years among Vincenta's board of directors. The matter regards Venice becoming a coeducational school. Those for and opposed are locked into their opinions, and I have determined that the board cannot reach a decision. I believe you will recall our decision to leave the matter up to the students. However, it was obvious that this decision could not be made on the spur of the moment. As you all know, Vincenta's student body is all female. I believe many of you have never interacted with a boy of your own age, so it was decided to first integrate a single male student. By interacting with one young man, you'll be better informed by the time of the vote. I believe you will all recall that decision as well. However, the school has eschewed the use of formal applications. We believed it was too easy to see which way that would go. In exchange, I requested that a student play the role of scout. I wanted to volunteer as my own granddaughter. Many of you may have thought that this plan had ended in failure. This is because we still wasn't able to find a suitable entrant in the time period allotted to her. The blow was accepted and entered the school was discovered over spring vacation. This was a clear violation of school rules. However, I decided to allow it using my authority as chairwoman. So that's what happened. So the chairwoman was on the side of reform. That was reassuring. I would find it extremely regrettable to deny him and quash the entire project due to the technicality of time. In addition, this particular boy seems to be a very fine character, although that is simply conjecture on my part. Now allow me to introduce the young man who will join our family beginning today. Okanoki Messiah. What? That sounded like a scream. I could understand serious about the idea of a boy joining the school. That last one, was it a reaction to my name? Now let's have a quick introduction, Messiah. Come this way, please. I left the green room and walked awkwardly to the chairwoman's side. She turned the microphone to me and I spoke. Nice to meet you. My name is Okanoki Messiah. I was so nervous I could barely recognize the sound of my own voice through the speakers. I understand this is an experiment, but I'm looking forward to staying with you all for a year. Regarding that. The chairwoman spoke up, her voice hesitant, her eyes serious. Excuse me. She changed pace, places with me and spoke into the microphone again. Because I believe you all know we will be looking at premier judgment. Judgment? That's not spelled right. That's the end of the first term. From a what? The point at issue will be whether or not the special student will be allowed to stay. What? I stared at her in disbelief. If this presence is rejected, then I'm afraid the Messiah will have to be expelled. If this occurs, we will be able to select a new male student to arrive in this place. Seriously, even a year? That seems short now. It's accepted that we'll continue until the grand vote held at the end of the third term. So it looks like I gotta be favorable for this first preliminary period, and then I can go on. So if I screw up, I guess the game is over. Either way, it will come down to your decision, and so I encourage you to interact with the transfer as much as you can. That goes for you as well, Messiah. Please don't be shy and make yourself a lot of girls. I like that encouragement. Right. Would the officers of the White Lily and Red Rose Societies please report to my office after school? That is all. As the bell turned to exit the stage, Sherman leaned over and whispered in my ear, "Don't worry, all we need is majority support by the time of the first term ends." Right. Majority support. I took a quick look around the gym. The vibe from the girls assembled there was definitely not a friendly one. I certainly wasn't making any girlfriends there. I just joined the school and I was already facing expulsion. That sucks. Get some Oscars that way. Sister Mishima showed me to my classroom. Wow, the school building looks so new. I was expecting it to be older from a traditional school. We recently had it renovated. There were problems in its earthquake readiness. I see. Incentives has changed a great deal, although some of the old buildings remain. The cathedral, for instance. With the opening ceremony over, the students were heading towards the school building. I was now surrounded by girls. I felt painfully conspicuous. I attended. The walls had the weight of an age to them, although the new ones are nice too. What? You were a student here too, sister? Yes, it's not unusual for Incentives staff to be alumni. 90% of the staff here are former students. It's not unusual for 3 generations of family to have passed through these halls. Naturally, friendships have made here endure as well. We are a community that transcends the relationships of school. It's really amazing. This is the box for your shoes. Oh, I get my own box for my shoes. That's so nice. There were slippers in my size inside. Your textbook should already be in the classroom. I'll be your homeroom teacher as well. We'll be seeing a lot of each other. Well, that's very convenient. Oh, right. Sister Mishima was my home teacher. That was good. What? As I walked down the halls, I noticed something strange. What's that classroom with no one inside? Oh, that's an unused classroom. An unused classroom? That's strange. Well, prior to the rebuild, Vincennes had 6 classes, but since we've been getting fewer and fewer students, Rise mentioned something like that. Just before the rebuild, we had 4 classes. It seemed natural to change the building to reflect that, but they didn't do that. Well, there was a great deal of debate about it among the board, after all. The reformists and the traditionalists, I bet. Protect the old ways, there was clearly certain people who were passionate about that. Small communities do have a unique atmosphere. To change the building would be a significant change, don't you think? Sister, were you on the reform side? I find myself asking without thinking. It's the students of the present who determine the future. Here we are beginning today. You'll be in class 2C. Messiah? Well, let's go inside. Right. I opened the door. Every face turned to me. What face? The room's empty. Oh my, he's in our class. I like the artwork. It's really adorable. You gotta be kidding me. I wonder where he's going to sit. It goes without saying the class was all girls, but this sight was still new to me. Ah, it's Rise, so we were in the same class. That was the relief. In class like this, I was lucky if I wasn't driven out. Not much chance of making friends. Sister Mishima walked to the lecture, and I followed after her. Everyone, I want you to take your seats. It doesn't matter where. I heard the rattling of chairs in the classroom descended into silence. This kind of respect for authority was completely new to me, too. In my old school, the shadow would have kept up much longer. I believe you all saw him at the opening ceremony, but you have a new classmate, wouldn't you? Why don't you introduce yourself again? Sister Mishima handed me the chalk. I wrote my name on the board, then gave it a stiff bow. Okinogi Messiah, it's nice to meet you all. Goodness. The classroom remained silent. There wasn't a single nice to meet you too. Now, where should we put you? Vincennes does seating by attendance number, but... Sister, Rise-san stood up immediately. Even the classroom of girls, she stood apart from the rest. I believe it might be best if he sat beside me. I brought him here, after all. That is true. Well then, everyone, please change your seats to reflect attendance number now. At her words, the students moved without hesitation to the seats. But I thought they said they could sit where it doesn't matter. They know where to go, even without labels. Everyone in Vincennes knows each other's name and face on the site. They live together in the dorms, too. They're a true familia. The chairwoman used that word, too. What does it mean? It's the French word for family. Family, huh? I like the sound of it. The word was appealing to someone like me who lived without family for so long. But why do you write in Roman letters? I've seen them mixed in from time to time. I suppose it was because the school was established by French missionaries. You may find the students' titles unusual as well. That's in blue. I wonder if that might be different. Titles. It's a bit like nicknames. Before she could say any more, the students finished taking their seats. Now, Messiah, take these and head to your seat. Yes. Took the pile of textbooks off the lectern and walked to the desk beside Rise. We exchanged a few pleasantries, but I noticed that she wouldn't meet my eyes. I wonder why. From there, morning homeroom began. It went about the same as at my old school. Homeroom ended and Sister Mishima left. There were a few minutes before the first period started. Normally, the class would probably be alive with chatter, but at the moment it was totally silent. Is Vincennes always like this? I looked around the classroom. As I looked around, any girl looked that quickly averted her eyes. No, this was probably unusual. Ah, Messiah. What is it? Finally, someone met my eyes. It was almost a relief. I'm sorry. What? Rise bowed her head low to me. For heaven's sake, you make Rise sing grovel. How dare he treat her? I do not know any French, so I'm going to be butchering this horribly. Solide de accord that way. Just what is that man trying to do? What, did I do something wrong? The reactions aside, I was starting to panic. Oh, there was text on the top there. I didn't see that. Wait a minute, Rise-san, what's going on? Look at me. I appear to have lied about one small thing. What? About what? She finally looked up at me. About the period of your stay. There really will be a vote at the end of the first term, but I only told you at the end of the year vote. I was afraid that you would refuse. The conditions are so strict after all. I was pretty sure I wouldn't have refused no matter the conditions. All I wanted was to see her again. That's That's why I deceived you. There's really no excusing what I've done. But if you let me make it up to you, it's alright. I'm not offended. I don't really care about it anyway. Besides, in the end, if I'm not accepted after a year, I couldn't stay anyway, right? Even so. So sooner or later, it doesn't make a difference. But it's true that it takes time to build relationships, even Miyogi-sama. What? Miyogi? The advisor to the board. She's the former chairwoman and stubbornly. I'll tell you more about that at lunchtime. Right? Besides saying, can you forgive me for deceiving you? Of course. I'm so glad. The bell rang and the teacher entered. Naturally, the teacher was a woman. Class, okay, here we go. Top, here we got first, second, third, fourth, lunch, fifth, sixth, and after school. Class proceeded solemnly. The only sounds were the scattering of chalk on the board and the pages turning in textbooks, the scratching of pens and notebooks, and curt answers to the instructor's questions. They're so serious. I guess that's the charm school for you. I couldn't help but admire them, but at the same time I had concern. I was afraid that those illusions that boys tend to have about girls might get shattered. I had a friend whose sister went to an all-girls school. He told me of the harsh reality of life there. They're basically old men. From what my friend said, they don't mind farting. Well, that was probably just a minority. But he said many just let their personal grooming slip. Some didn't even care if their panties were showing. Well, I guess that goes without saying anyway. In addition, the classrooms have a distinctive odor, sweat mixed together with makeup and food. And for some reason, they were really like poop jokes. I was a full-body man, and I did have certain illusions about girls. There was a part of me that was afraid of cracks forming in those illusions, but that wasn't true at all. No one's panties were showing. The room actually had a nice smell to it. As far as I could see, they were all polished young ladies. I guess Vicente is a cut above in more respects than one. Messiah? If you find anything you don't understand, please don't hesitate to ask me. Thanks. How was class? Did everything make sense? I guess. What did we talk about? I'm pretty sure I can keep up. I see, I'm glad to hear that. I know that changing schools can be difficult in that regard. I did see religious theory on the schedule. I've never had that class before. You should be fine as long as I give you a basic morals, although there are some aspects particular to missionary teachings. Oh, whisper, that's what I said. My Rise-san is just speaking to that boy. She really is progressive, isn't she? Yeah, how dare we speak to the other sex? We're just open-minded like that. I glanced over at the source of the whispers. Rise-san appeared to hear them as well, but she just shrugged. It's to be expected from your first day after all. They'll get used to you, though. Right. But while their reaction to me was natural, they also seemed to be giving Rise-san a wide berth. What is it? Sai-san? No, I just had this feeling like I was being watched. I took a look out the door, but there was no one in the hallway except people walking past. It does seem possible, for better or worse, you are a person of interest now. Right, that is true, but still. Don't let it bother you. Rise seemed to think it was just anxiety, so she reassured me and then left the room. It isn't that. It was hard to explain, but there had been a certain intensity to that gaze, like their eyes were looking right through me. I didn't expect someone to have such a personal grudge against me on my first day here. It couldn't just be someone with a crush. That would be too convenient. It must be someone who really hates men. As the recess began following second period, the class suddenly broke out into whispers. The entire class turned towards the door. A group of students entered. It's Grand Floor. What could La Toute Sawyer possibly want with us? Okinogi Messiah might have requested a moment of your time. She looks very distinguished, like the queen bee of the school. Oh, of course. Wow, she's gorgeous. The girl who could give Rise-san a run for her money stood at the head of the group with a leaderly air. My name is Miyogi Marika. Ah, that's her. I have come here to bid you hello to you, Messiah. Ah, oh well, thank you. La Toute Sawyer came especially to see him. I can't believe it. It's preposterous. He should have gone to her. Oh no, he can't be allowed to visit Marika-sama. Well, what should I have done then? Miyogi? What of it? Oh, nothing. The name was familiar, but I couldn't remember where I heard it. La Toute Sawyer. Is that your nickname, Miyogi-san? Nickname? Ah. A girl at the back of the crowd stepped forward and glared at me sharply. Ooh. No good. Did you just say nickname? How rude. The term is title. Right. Mitsuki-san, Messiah-san has only been attending the school for one day. It is natural that he should be unfamiliar with Vincente's vocabulary, don't you agree? In addition, you don't get to call her Miyogi-san, address her as Marika-sama. Understand? Right. That's enough, Mitsuki. But I'm afraid that it doesn't seem proper to address Masayako without an honorific either. Well then, Masayako, it seems your first goal will be to pass the premier judgment at the end of the first term. That's still misspelled, unless that's how they spell it in French or something. I don't think so. I wish you luck. Farewell. With that, Marika and her entourage departed the classroom. The entire class left out a sigh of relief. Is she famous or something? Yes, even before she became La Toute Sauer and class president, she was already renowned as Grand Fleur. Huh? Well, I can see that I'm speaking nonsense to you. I'll explain later. Please do. I feel like I'm walking through a minefield here. Why did that girl get so mad at me? Mitsuki-san is... she's a friend of yours? The students of Mitsuki are all friends in a way. That is what familia means. I see. Mitsuki-san has changed somewhat since she became Marika-sama's chef de corps. Chef de corps? Maybe. She was never like that before. The bell rang and we took our seats. Everyone at school was like friends and family. I didn't think she was lying, but in a school with several hundred students, some relationships would be stronger than others. It seemed to me that Rise-san's relationship with Mitsuki had been one of the stronger ones. It was our long-awaited lunch break. Rise-san led me to the dining hall. Wow, I'm hungry. Giggle, you're always hungry, aren't you? Well, yeah, I was kind of starving. I overslept this morning. I didn't notice when the staff knocked on my door to wake me up. How are you enjoying life in the dormitory? Any problems? None at all. It's like a dream. And the school, are you acclimating? Well, it's only the first day after all. I know how you feel, but you can't spend all your time feeling ashamed. Right. I felt suspicious even walking through the halls, but I'd probably be used to it after a few days. It was everything else that would be the challenge. I know it will go well. I'm sure you have a long association with the school, right? Right. Oh, this place looks great. Yes, the dining hall is a very popular place. I bet. Well, let's get lined up. First, you need to take a chip. Chip? There was a basket on the corner table. The students were pulling out token-like discs from it. The chips represent a menu item. There will always be 2 main dishes which change daily. Where do we pay? Payment is included in our tuition, so it's free. Nice. I see. I feel a little guilty. I never paid tuition. Of course not. You're here on scholarship, after all. I was also getting an allowance from the school, but if I wasn't spending it on meals, I wasn't sure where I would use it. The menu was pasted up next to the box. It looked like a Western and Japanese meal option. I guess I'll have the lasagna. Good choice. You don't want the fish. Makes you sick. I had only had it a few times before. What about you, Rise-san? I believe we'll have the soba. We took our orders from the counter, then quickly took our seats. Let's eat. Rise was making the sign of the cross. Oh, it's just a habit, even though I'm not Christian. I've just been at Vincennes for so long. It seems like Vincennes has a lot of customs of its own. Yes, that's right. I promised to tell you about that. We'll talk while we eat. I listened to Rise's explanation while the delicious food danced on my tongue. First, regarding titles. At Vincennes, many of us have a second name we're known by. They're basically like nicknames, right? Yes, although as Mitsuki-san illustrated earlier, we don't call them nicknames here. I couldn't tell you what. Nicknames are too common. You gotta have some fancy name for them. Titles sounds better. I see. It all seems very complicated, but I promise to pay attention when in Rome, as they say. In addition, only the student council president's title takes a definite article, la. Okay. We're running French here, people, so you better pay attention. The definite article, you mean like the in English, right? That's right. The student council president's title is La Toute Sauer. That is as it's always been. What does that mean? Everyone's big sister. Of course it does. I see, that's an appropriate title for a student council president. Marika-sama's personal title, Grand Fleur, means great flower. She did have a grand sort of air to her, though she wasn't ostentatious about it. Excuse me, I don't know my words apparently. That's true, she's always been popular, obviously, enough to be elected president. Then what was Mitsuki-san's? You said something like chef something? Chef de coupe. It means captain of the guard. Captain of the guard? I just figured she was a really good cook or something. That's funny. Ah, chef. It does have that meaning as well, of course. The origin is the same. Mitsuki-san is how to put one of Marika-sama's retinue. That's where the title came from. Retinue, huh? Marika-sama brought a small group with her, which included Mitsuki-san. She looked a little bit like hospital director surrounded by doctors and nurses. Sounds you don't like it being part of retinue. that's true, it doesn't really suit me. Being part of someone else's routine means you become dependent on them for ways of looking and thinking about things. I can never approve of that. Interesting. Maybe that way of thinking was a Reese and put herself at the vanguard of school reform. Do you have a title, Reese? Well, yes, I'm now a Soleil del Col. Soleil del Col. What does it mean? Son of the school. Oh, I like that. High praise, but I could see where it came from. In Arisa's case, it wasn't just her beauty. She'd even slipped out of school to do her scouting work. That kind of decisiveness had probably earned her notice. Oh, please don't look at me like that. Oh, sorry. It's not that I don't like it, but I don't like this custom that seems to rank students by worth. But I do like titles that reflect a person's personality. For instance, Ritsuko, whom you met this morning, what's her title? Belle Épine. Épine? It means beautiful briar rose. Yeah, that does seem to suit her. Doesn't it? Well, I think that's about it for titles. Next, I think I'll tell you about ordinary modes of address. There are rules about those, too? That's right, Mitsuke mentioned something about that, too. In addition, you don't get to call her Miyogi-san. Address her as Marika-sama, understand? At the time, I had no idea what she was talking about. Those of a higher grade level are given the suffix sama to show respect. Those of the same grade level are given the suffix san to show closeness. Those of a lower grade level are given no suffix to show affection. That is how we do things, I've said, because they are worthless and they don't deserve titles. Or suffixes. I can see what she meant. Rise had followed those rules and speaking to everyone around her. I'm going to try as hard as I can to do things that Vincennes way, though saying sama is going to be hard to get used to. I think you'll be fine doing things the way you have been. Really. You don't want to be bound in so much that you ignore the difference between a man and a woman. You see what I mean? Makes sense. Hard to change Vincennes after all. Of course, you can't do everything by yourself, but you're the kind of man who can change the perceptions of people around you. I am? I didn't think I was that influential, but I would have to give it a try. At least if I wanted to stay here until graduation. I don't intend to turn you into the second coming of Jesus, of course. But you did come here to take up a sword and fight. This won't be a peaceful revolution. As we spoke, someone appeared beside us at the table. Excuse me, could I cut in? Oh, Tommy-san. That means she's in our grade. Pleasure to meet you. I am Nogi Temi. I'm the News Club Ace reporter. I'm going to be reporting on our activities for the year, or, well, however long you stay. I wanted to introduce myself. Oh, well, nice to meet you. I'm Okanogi Messiah. Can we bribe her to write good stories about us? First, I had referred to her as San. That means she was a second-year student. Well, let's have a quick interview. Do you mind? What? Tommy produced a microphone, a recorder, and a camera out of nowhere. Then she turned the camera towards me. Wow, the camera just loves you. Come on, smile, smile. What? Oh, Tommy-san, you're making him uncomfortable. Well, we'll do the pictures later, then. Wouldn't want to get stuck with the bad picture. We want you looking nice and handsome, right? We'll get the interview out of the way then, okay? Before I gave answers, she clicked on the recorder and turned the mic to me. I bent back in my chair and asked her a question that had been bugging me. Do you always carry those around with you? Of course, my microphone, recorder, and camera are my Holy Trinity. Right. I didn't quite know what Holy Trinity meant, but it sounded impressive. Besides, and this is a good opportunity for us. What? Well, we need to let people know who you are. It would be best for us to make use of mass media. That's right. Our news club publishes a newspaper daily. We leave them in classrooms in the morning, so give it a read tomorrow. Right. We didn't have the main edition because it's the first day today, but look, we published an extra. Tommy pulled out an A3 size piece of newsprint. Who do you really go by paper sizes when you... I don't know. Amazing. An extra about what? It would be a disgrace to the news club name not to publish big news like this, right? Fresh off the presses, have a look if you want. Thank you. Thanks. La mode quotidienne? God, I'm so bad at languages. It sure is frustrating, though, even with our network. We couldn't break this story earlier. It happened in the middle of spring vacation. We wanted to avoid causing a fuss. No one even saw you. How long have you been here? Since April 1st. And you've been in your room the whole time? Yes. I see, that would explain it. But, oh, well, it's fun to get a bombshell dropped right in your lap at the start of the new year. Tommy-san, are you? Yeah. I don't mean this in a negative way, but you talk like a normal person. That doesn't stay closer to what I'm used to. Oh, I guess that's true, probably because I'm intermediary course tourist. That's something I've been wondering about. What is this intermediate course? Primary, intermediate, and final course are the stages of Vincennes education. Oh, I see. The primary course building here is on Mount Armuro as well, but in a different location. The intermediate course building is right in front of us. Now that you mention it, there were two school buildings facing each other. Let's see, what did you mean by tours to them? That's... well, enough about me, Osama, the interviewee here. Right, though I'm still eating. Tommy seemed like a very forceful person. They didn't want to answer my question, though. Let's start with what brought you here. It seems like there must be a strange set of circumstances. Am I right? I never thought they'd find a proper student for this special scholarship. And yet you're here. Plus, you're not a freshman, you're a second-year student, which means you had to transfer. I think everyone would like to know how you ended up here. How about giving us a statement? I glanced over at Risa. She looked back at me blankly. She's got nothing. What is it? Well, I mean, should I be honest? What do you mean? You acted wonderfully that night, Messiah. But what about what happened before then? About my background, since in a way I threw away my whole life so I could come here. Which means I have the kind of background that it's okay to make a wash of. I don't know if it's okay to say that flat out, but I can't just lie about it either. Messiah, you're referring to your family situation, I suppose. Well, yeah, that makes you feel inferior. Yeah. The child and the parent are entirely separate people. We say, going forward and look sharply into my eyes. The person who should feel ashamed is the man who earned that debt, not the person who forced it on. That's what I believe. I believe that you yourself are a fine man, so please relax and give your interview. Right, I will. Oh my, you two just met, haven't you? Yet you've already won the trust of our Soleil d'école. I just know everyone will be surprised by the excellence of my judgment. That remains to be seen. Well, Messiah, let's get to the interview. The time was short, so I had to do it quickly, but I told her the story from beginning to end. There's a lot of dots, apparently. We didn't say much. Risa addressed me as we returned to class. That's right, I forgot to mention, but would you come with me after class? What's going on after class? The Sherwin mentioned it this morning. The officers of the White Lily and Red Rose Societies have to come to our office. I'm an officer in the White Lily Society, so I have to go. I thought it might be nice if you came along. I'm sure the discussion will be about you. Got it, but what are the White Lily and Red Rose Societies? They're the student council servants. Rather, they're supplementary societies. Well, I'll explain to you after class. Got it. This is a long first day. After class, I went with Risa and to the chairwoman's office. Before we hear what the chairwoman has to say, let's review your place here in Vincennes' current state. Yeah, let's do that. So much has happened, my head is still spinning. First, Vincennes' current state. We're losing students, and the reconstruction of the campus buildings has left us in dire financial straits. In order to recover, we need more students. However, given the trend of the last few years, that seems unlikely. The only reliable method would be to accept boys at the school and become co-educational. But of course, there are those that oppose the idea. The board of directors was split for a long time until the chairwoman finally made a ruling to show that we would accept one sample male student. That's you, of course. Right. What is the purpose of the sample? Because the question of reform is to be decided by the students themselves. But because so few of them have experienced accompanying boys before, they won't be able to make an informed decision. As the chairwoman said, male transfer students would be needed to help guide their judgment. Naturally, we don't expect you to represent the entirety of male sex. That's one thing I'm not sure about. Shouldn't a sample involve a few more people? Was it just because you couldn't find anyone else? No, they wanted just one student. That was also consciously decided. Why? The traditionalist board members demanded it. Can you imagine why that would be? Because they don't want boys in school. Oui. That means yes in French. I know that much. But I believe this was a mistake on the part of the traditionalist faction. A mistake? Why? Well, to find 51 good people out of 100 or just one, the latter is easier, don't you think? Well, I guess so. That's how much we're counting on you, Messiah. Right. The mission of the scholarship student, or rather what we hope to see, is for you to change how the others feel. Let me make this very clear. At present, it is safe to assume that of the entire student body, I am the only one in favor of reform. Oh, great. I see. Everyone fears change, I know that as well as anyone. But they know the school will close otherwise, right? How can you be the only one? Let me make an example. Have you ever thought about your own death, Messiah? What? At some point within the next century you will die. Have you ever thought seriously about that? Well, no. Neither have I. I believe this is a similar mindset at play. I see, but I want Vincennes to stay here forever. Rise-san had said that once before. She was hoping for reform because she loved Vincennes. There's another reason as well. I believe it would be better off as a co-educational school than an all-girls one. Huh? Really? Because I know how indispensable men really are, huh? Well, setting aside my personal opinion, there are only two sexes in this world. It seems odd to dismiss one of them entirely. I guess so. Well, Messiah, from now on, your duty as a scholarship student is to make those around you accept your presence. In other words, to make them think I deserve to stay at Venice. That's right. The first test will be at the end of the first trimester. I really do feel sorry about that. No, that's fine. Rise-san sounded genuinely upset about that. Yogi-sama was very insistent on that point, and puts the scholarship student in that freeform party at a great disadvantage. Oh, that's right. When Marika-sama arrived, I thought her last name sounded familiar. Yes, Miyogi-sama. The board advisor is Marika-sama's grandmother. Which means that Marika-san is against us? It is likely. Her expression was very serious. As la toute sœur, Marika was bound to carry a lot of influence. Rise-san was soleil de cour and clearly had a lot of influence of her own, but I'm starting to feel more nervous about this. Either way, it would be hard to pass any reform if the elected student body president wasn't in favor of it. I believe the first vote will be low hurdle, though. At least I think it's easier to accept than school-wide reform, don't you think? I guess. It's true, though, of course, we don't want to declare victory just yet. Rise-san spoke the words of which she was warning to herself, then continued. Then at the end of the year, we'll hold the grand vote. In actuality, this vote is just about electing the next student council president, but it made sense. The president's boys were so regular there wouldn't be a system in place for it. All the students vote in the student council election, and this is the same everywhere, right? That's right. It was the same at my school. And generally, anyone can announce themselves as a candidate, right? Yeah, is it different in Vincennes? Technically anyone can, but you could call it precedent or tradition. Usually there can only be two candidates. One is the head of the White Lily Society, the other is the head of the Red Rose Society. Is it going to be War of the Roses? That'd be pretty cool. Those were the two groups that had been called out in the chairwoman's office. By the way, unlike the president, the set collection of society heads is done immediately after the beginning of the first term. Oh, so it's coming soon, right? Yes, it is actually today. The vote will take place immediately after we speak to the chairwoman. Which meant that, unlike the council election, society chose their own officers. Although we usually decided it amongst ourselves at the end of the third term, so it's really just a formality. That's to say, we've already unofficially been chosen. I'm the head of the White Lily Society, and Mitsuke is the head of the Red Rose. Oh, so next year's elections will be a contest between the two of you. That's right, and we'll each present our manifesto. Mine will be reform, Mitsuke-san will be preservation of the old ways. In other words, the fate of the school reform came down to me, or came down to which one was elected president. You could almost say that they just appropriated the meaning of the traditional grand vote just to represent that decision. In reality, it will be the White Lily Society and the Red Rose Society, Mitsuke-san and I competing, but the real deciding factor will be you. So please do the best that you can. Race reached out to take my hand. It's a good thing she didn't explain all this earlier, otherwise we probably would have never shown up here. I didn't have a lot of confidence, but I did want to continue attending Vincennes. Right. Oh my, they're holding hands. She really is progressive, isn't she? It's just a handshake, you know. About a dozen people were gathered in the chairwoman's office. It looks like you're all here. I'm sorry I'm late. I was speaking about everything that had happened. Rise-sama, Misa-sama, Masai-sama is not a member of the association. Well, even I got to be Sama? That's kind of weird. I'm well aware of that, but Masai-san will be subject of the conversation. Even so. Now, it's no trouble. The chairwoman spoke placatingly. I'm not trying to give my granddaughter special treatment, but Rise is correct. It will be easier if he is here for the discussion. Very well. Mitsuko-chan, I would call her in mind. She was younger. After all, diffidently related. She's an officer then? I wonder which society. The students in the room were separately divided into two groups. These were the White Lily and Red Rose societies, and Ritsuko-chan, who was standing with Mitsuke-san, was a Red Rose. I believe you all know why I've called you here. It regards next year's grand vote. When changing fundamental principles of school policy, naturally the people's will is required. Messiah was allowed to come here to help guide that will, but I don't believe that will be enough. I would like the White Lily and Red Rose societies to assist. What do you mean? To shape the will of the people in the year to come, I want you all work to educate the students in preparation for the grand vote. While I do not doubt the judgment of the Philistine Fincenes. Files de la Fincenes. There's a tendency to treat the grand vote as a popularity contest, which is exactly what it probably will boil down to. I want you all to work hard to make sure that doesn't happen this time. So it has happened in the past. That is why I called you here to say, how do you feel, Mitsuki? Naturally, I have no objections. Everyone knows that the student council election will represent the school's future. I see, Rise. I agree completely. This was my intent from the beginning. I see. Then I expect both associations to work diligently on the matter this year. Are there any objections? No particular objections came from Mitsuki-san's group, but from Rise-san's group, in other words, my so-called allies, a voice spoke up. I cannot participate, although I do not disagree with you in concept. Why is that, Yumi? Because I'm against school reform. That's right, Rise-san, she was the only one on the side of reform. Just because they were members of the White Lily Society didn't necessarily mean they agreed with Rise-san's ideas. So to tell me that I must act to aid reform, if I may be blunt, it's ridiculous. Yumi, pardon me, Rise-sama, but I absolutely refuse to participate in this task. No, I'm sorry, I spoke thoughtlessly. I was thinking of the White Lily and Red Rose's blocks. I failed to acknowledge that their members have their own beliefs. The girl named Yumi looked at the floor in silence for a time and finally spoke in a whisper. It's just that the eventual fate of our school will come down to the results of the grand vote, and so on. She untied a ribbon on her arm. Yumi, I returned this to you, Rise. She held the ribbon out to Rise-san, who took it wide-eyed. It was then that I noticed she was wearing the same ribbon on her own arm. Like a little blue ribbon there. Not just her, Mitsuki-san and Rise had them too, but the color was different. Excuse me. She left the room hurriedly. Another student addressed Rise. It appears that the lion's share of the work of reform is at some point pushed onto our association. Rise, do you intend to fight this battle on the banner of reform? Yes. Then I cannot participate either. One refusal came after another. In the end, all of the members of the White Lily Society left the room. Ouch. Our society has crumbled. Rise stood there dejectedly with countless blue ribbons in her hands, staring at the door from which her allies had gone. I was so naive. I just assumed that the members of the White Lily would agree to help me, even though I knew from the start that they were all against reform. What will you do, Rise? You seem to have lost all your allies. Ooh, should I speak or should I not speak? Ooh, I don't know. First decision of the game. I don't want to interrupt. I don't know. I'm not going to speak. I choose not to speak. I don't know enough about it to say anything. As I stood there in silence, Rise-san turned her face to me. Just then I decided to speak. Oh my gosh. Don't tell me it's one of these games where your decisions don't matter. Not all of them. What? I'm here. Usaya-san. Listen, you can't just join an association. The positions were chosen last year by vote among previous members. Well, there's no previous members anymore, is there? We all had to go through the voting process to think you can just waltz in here, and I may not know much about incentive organizations, and I may not be an official member, but I don't care. I'm still going to help Rise. You can't possibly object to that, can you? Mitsuki let out a huffy breath and turned back to Rise. Well then, Rise, what do you intend to do? The White Lily Society members have all returned their ribbons. Do you really intend to compete in the grand vote without the backing of the White Lily Society? Of course. Rise nodded defiantly. You've always been strong-willed, and I always... Okanogi Messiah, yeah? I am against you, against poison, against integration. I mean no offense, but I intend to get you out of here by the end of the first term, excuse me. With those clipped words, she marched out of the room, her footsteps ringing behind her. Belle Pine, do you feel the same way? I would feel uncomfortable returning the ways things have always been. I don't particularly like the idea of having cause of the voice. Well, I suppose that stands to reason, but still... I suppose that makes me a true traditionalist. In that regard, Mitsuki-sama and I are the same. I see. Will that be all, Madam Chairwoman? Yes, I think so. How can you sit there and smile? You saw what happened. Excuse me? The Red Rose members left one by one until it was just us and the chairwoman in the room alone. I suppose we will be going as well. Salutations, grandmother. Yes, salutations. Rise has certainly found herself a fine young man. Yeah, I was not going to get to stay because all our members left. Now then, this will be quite difficult. But despite Rise-san's word, I could sense a smile in her tone. But I think it will work out somehow. We just need to work together. Objectively speaking, things had quickly gone from bad to worse. Yet for some reason I felt a strange sort of confidence. As long as Rise-san did everything she could, things would work out. Yeah. I gave her a firm nod and shook her hand again. This time there was no students around us and no whispers to accompany it. I see, so that's what happened. I really was surprised. I never thought she would try it alone. She isn't known as Soledad de Cole for nothing after all. But I'm afraid Rise is going to lose this time. You can't win an election without officers backing you. Judging by their armbands, I assume they're a member of the other society. It's true. But just for safety's sakes, I believe I should drop out as head of the Red Rose Society. What do you mean? It's true that Rise is much more popular than I am. Oh, don't say that. You're very charming, Mitsuki. Even so, I think that Ritsuko would do better as head of the society. Ritsuko. There's no rule against a freshman leading a society, after all. That is true. Belle Lepin's popularity is equal to Rise. If she were to lead the society, our victory would be assured. Have you spoken with Ritsuko about it? I don't believe she'll refuse. You are likely correct. Ah, Onisama, please tell me just one thing. What is it? No, you can ask me anything. What do you think about the reforms they're proposing? Mitsuki, do you know what I treasure more than anything in this world? Maintaining the peace of Vincennes. That is because I'm a la toute sauer. Ah, well then. Well, I believe the first thing to do is determine his character. Would you come with me, Mitsuki? Yes, ma'am. Man, we're getting a lot of game overs here. Alrighty. Alrighty, we got to chapter 2 and the next day apparently. So I'm gonna cut it off here, guys, and I will see you in part 4. And apparently we're still asleep. See ya.